Hello, friends. First of all, I want to apologize for the fact that this week's video message and the written message are basically the same. I like to do different ones, but this message, I think, is so timely and vital that I felt I should repeat it on the video. I want to start with a passage from Pirkei Avos, Ethics of the Fathers, a famous passage from Ethics of the Fathers. Rabbi Hanina, the deputy Kohen Gadol, says, pray for the welfare of the government, because if people did not fear it, a person would swallow his fellow alive. This earth-shaking statement casts a brilliant light on the genius of Chazal, our rabbis who wrote the Mishnah and Gemara, who understood everything in the world from the beginning until the end of history. How was Rabbi Hanina able to predict the exact slogan used by rioters and looters in America in the year 2020, some 1,800 years later in a distant land? Please forgive me for repeating such ugly language. The looters shouted, "Eat the rich." My friends, what is going on in the world? We are living in the days in which the civilization of Yishmael and Edom, the cultures which have ruled the world over the past 2,000 years, are collapsing in order to make way for Moshiach ben David. Nothing will stand in the way of this process. My book, 2020 Vision, describes a massive terrorist attack against the United States, which begins in the summer of 2020. Summer is a few weeks off, but the events and the time are very close to the prediction. These are the days, my friends, when we can hear the footsteps of Moshiach, but we can also hear the loud voices of those who are trying to block Moshiach from entering the world. Quoting from the Psalms, King David said, when the wicked bloom like grass and the doers of iniquity blossom, it is to destroy them unto eternity forever. If you read the chapter entitled Ruth and Doved, Ruth and King David, in the book of our heritage, the classic work by Rabbi Eliyahu Kitov, you will understand the massive attempt to prevent King David from assuming the monarchy of Israel. The war against Kedusha, against sanctity, then as now, is prodigious. This is all foreshadowed in the story of the generation that built the Tower of Babel, from which they proposed to battle directly against Hashem. The world is fighting desperately, trying to keep Hashem out of the universe which he created, trying to deny his existence, reject his Torah, and destroy, God forbid, his chosen nation, the children of Israel. Today, that war has spread to the entire planet. The inhabitants of this planet, with few exceptions, want to deny Hashem's existence so they can live their animalistic lifestyle, trying to satisfy their gluttonous passions and ignore the moral and spiritual laws which emanate from the King of the universe. We see this resistance to the rule of heaven in the attempt to reject King David. Here's a quote from Book of Our Heritage. David was the mightiest of kings, the most pious of the pious, wisest among the wise, humble among the modest, and the most glorious of poets who sang praise before God. Notwithstanding all this, no one suffered as much anguish in his life as David, which did not leave him until his very last day, when his son Shlomo, King Solomon, succeeded him. Indeed, David's secret was concealed from his father and mother, from his brothers, and all the people who lived in his time, even from Shmuel Hanavi, Samuel the prophet, who did not recognize his abilities, even after he first saw him, until Hashem told him, "Rise, anoint him, for he is the one." And we can see this resistance to the rule of heaven in the attempt to keep Moshiach ben David out of this world. The world is pushing against Kedusha, against sanctity with all its might. The entire world feels the imminent coming of Moshiach, the imminent rebuilding of the Beis HaMikdash, the imminent elevation of the children of Israel to sovereignty. This moment is only seconds away on the cosmic clock, and the world is panicked because the haters fear nothing more than that Hashem's Torah should reign in this world. Recently, in the weekly email circulated in the name of the late Rabbi Avigdor Miller, Rabbi Miller wrote prophetically, it would seem, comparing those who do not make proper blessings to those who loot stores. They are both thieves. We have to take this to heart, my friends, because we're going to have to refine our actions to try to be worthy of Hashem's mercy in these final days before Mashiach. Twice every Shabbos we say the following words from the Psalms: "For behold, your enemies, Hashem, for behold, your enemies shall perish. Dispersed shall be all doers of iniquity. My eyes have seen the defeat of my vigilant foes. When those who would harm me rise up against me, my ears have heard their doom. Soon the haters will perish. The world will be healed. All these words of King David will be fulfilled, and we will greet our Redeemer, Moshiach ben David. Until then, my friends, we must protect ourselves by observing the words of the rabbi's quote. Rabbi Elazar was asked by his students, "What can a person do to be spared the travails of Mashiach?" And he responded, "One should occupy himself in the study of Torah and acts of kindness." May we soon see the day when Moshiach ben David does come into this world. The Beis HaMikdash is rebuilt. And with God's help, we should all be there to see it with our own eyes. Thank you.